All right, are you ready to tell the story of Stu? Despite yourself and the cat butt in my nose and everything. All right, so.
Well, I don't understand how the hell he was only. Well, hell, he couldn't have been 3 years old.
That sounds like a 3-year-old.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, and he picks up the cat upside down and backwards, and the cat's as long as he is. So he's walking along, you know, and we're looking at him, and his cat, the tail's doing this. He's got the cat upside down with the belly to him, which meant, yeah, so, and he's going, heavy, heavy. Well, yeah, it was heavy, you know. So we had this cat, and
so you're saying this was my first exposure to pussy?
pretty much.
We'll have to edit that part out.
And
Good Lord. Oh, you're a mess.
other than when you had it around your neck.
All right, so do you remember when I was born?
Yeah, what about
1960.
63?
There you go.
Yeah, I knew that.
So what were you doing then?
Me? I was painting.
Yeah.
I was
And where were you living?
living in Billy Crow's gas station, right next door to a gas station, and it was an apartment there at that time. Right now, it ain't nothing, and it was across the street from the tavern. It's called.
What city? What town?
We're in Peoria, right there at the
Oh.
foot of Laramie Hill.
Oh, okay.
At the what the hell's the name of that tavern at that time?
Oh,
Well, anyway, Vera McCann owned it. She had a wooden leg, and she went with a mailman that delivered mail out in Hannah City, and he was always joking about getting splinters off her wooden leg. she did a bar at at that time. The mission wasn't there, but he was still, you know, the tavern's still grandfathered into it. Leland at one time owned that tavern. Him and Joanne.
Laramie Gardens.
Laramie Gardens.
Laramie
That's what it was.
Okay.
What kind of
Anyway,
town
we
were
So
lived
you live
across.
next to Laramie Gardens.
When you were born, lived across the street from it, and on Saturdays and Sundays to make extra money. I was only making $63 a week paid, which paid for everything, you know, houses, cars, the whole shot. I worked on the weekends for every full tank of gas these guys bought, which gas was, I think, 18 cents a gallon. They'd have their tanks filled, and he'd throw in a free car wash. Well, he paid me $1.50 to wash the car. So I made pretty good money on the weekends. Anyway, Billy Crow had a transmission shop behind the gas station, and we lived in the one apartment right there. I remember I was working out, you were just a baby. I was working out at Pap's painting, and they come up at a time, it was on a, let's say, Thursday, and I should have been going home. Well, they wanted somebody to work the night crew. We had a bunch of fermenter tanks to get done. So, and I was working, my uncle was foreman. So hell, I was picking up overtime and everything. So I worked Thursday into Friday, and then I went ahead and just kept my other shift and worked right on into Friday afternoon. That night, they wanted somebody to had to fill in a night shift. I took it. Saturday morning, I was dead tired. I wasn't going to work anymore, and I had not been home since Thursday night. I go home, open the door, baby bottle hits me in the head, busts all over hell, milk everywhere. She accused, and I'm covered in green paint because these fermenter tanks are green. And I'm spraying all this time and everything. And I look like the Jolly Green Giant, I guess, or just green. All my clothes are green, everything. And I'm so damn tired, I just looked at her and I said, "Now what the hell did you go and do that for?" And I walked over and I went across the bed, and that was that was the end of it. I didn't wake up until Monday morning. So, anyway, that was one of the first mistakes I made, because we didn't have cell phones at that time, and you couldn't call and say, "Hey, you know, I'm working overtime." So, one of those kind of deals. That was when he was first born, you know. But that damn cat, it would get in the car, and you'd be driving the car, and it'd come up in front, and then you'd have that windshield wiper tail getting on the steering wheel, and you'd grab it, throw it in the back with him, and he'd come right back up, come over the seat, want us to be right there on the steering wheel, looking out the thing, you know. So we had him neutered, and when he come home, he got sitting in the hallway, and he just backed his back up against the hall wall, and he's looking down, and then he looked up like, "Okay, what you guys do with him?" He's a funny cat. And I think he lived to be 16 years old or something like that. We called him Spot. We didn't get him a dog. We got him a cat.
That was the same Spot I knew?
Spot.
Really?
Same Spot. Same Spot.
The Russian blue cat.
He lived to be 16 years old.
I didn't know that cat was around that long.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That cat was down in the Harrison Homes, when we lived in the Harrison Homes on Charles Street. Fuzz and Sally used to come down there all the time. That cat was there.
So who named the cat Spot?
You guys called him Spot.
I remember Spot, and I thought I named him Spot, but I don't remember back that far.
Well, of course not.
When I was that young.
Yeah, you were too young to remember all that. You don't remember dancing up on top of the countertop with no clothes on, pulling on your weenie, hollering, "Gidget, gidget, gidget."
Well,
Buzzing.
of course I can remember last week.
Fuzz and Sally were sitting there egging your ass on. You know, and he's doing a naked dance all over the place. Well,
No, you don't know yourself is what you should be saying.
because we had a little black and white TV about this big. It was painted red and white, but it was black and white. It had no color. It was about that big. That was the only kind we had, you know. And I had it was an old Plymouth that your grandma had, Grandma Norman, and she gave it to me because that's the only car we had. Well, your Uncle John come down, and he come in there ranting and raving all kinds of hell, and he wanted the battery out of the car because his battery went bad. And
What does it do with your car?
well, he started some bullshit and started pointing his finger at me and all that kind of shit. I just turned around, grabbed him by the back, and throwed him out the screen door. He didn't get the battery, but then she got the car back. So that was the end of that shit. So my brother Butch had an old 57 Pontiac, and it had been wrecked and tore up. Anyway, he wanted $25 for it, so I bought it. And that's what we drove, or I drove, you know, until I got back to working again, because nobody had any work. We were all laid off. And I went to work driving a garbage truck for the Masters down over the hill here where the new freeway is now. There was a dump, and they had a garbage truck company down there. Well, I went to driving it. Run all over Bartonville picking up garbage, and also picking up ice cream and stuff at Seal Test ice cream place. Milk, things like that. We lived off a lot of that stuff. And the whole neighborhood down there at the housing lived on that shit. You know, because I'd bring it down, and hell, we'd have tubs of ice cream, you know, and just pass it out to the whole bunch that was on my block, you know. But then, you know, we all survived. We survived. He played on the playground a lot. I think he fell off the slide board 3 times. Cracked his head.
That's what's wrong with you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fell on your head 3 times. So
Well,
kicking you in the head 3 times.
That was almost a 6-foot fall.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, he cracked the shit out of himself each time, you know. But he survived. He survived the playground. Well, anyway, things
No worse for the wear.
things seem to progress, you know. Things got better and moved out of there.
So now, does this incorporate the time you went off to the Mayo Clinic?
No.
And, no, not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay,
This was
just one double check.
this was, oh hell, I don't remember when the hell that was. Anyway, we lived down in Pekin for a while, and then moved back up into the housing.
When did Janet break her arm?
Oh, that was way
That was later.
Way later? Okay.
Yeah.
Way later. Yeah,
So
I was
anyway,
14,
moved out of the
15,
housing.
16 years old.
Oh, were you?
Moved out of the housing, and I rented a place out in Princeville on a farm. We had a acre of ground that the place sat on. It was a old Amish house. Apartment upstairs. Had sliding doors that closed off the living room, and different place, but the family could live in it, and the girls could be separate. That was the way the Amish were doing it back then. Anyway, the house was haunted, for one thing. But anyway, we moved out there. Well, no, I wasn't the only one that seen the little girl upstairs. But
I believe in ghosts.
that wasn't that all important, you know. Buzz and Sally lived out there with us for a while too, upstairs.
Lyle.
Huh?
Lyle.
I went and got my brother out of Boys Town and brought him down. He lived there.